Hey friend, welcome to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. I'm Gabby Flater, a faith-led wife, mom of 3, certified nutrition consultant, personal trainer, and passionate about changing lives. I know how frustrating it can be to navigate the health and wellness world. You want to be motivated to prioritize your well-being and wish you were more educated when it comes to cultivating a healthy home. Maybe you're a mom who's completely burnt out and needs a fresh perspective on life, or you're searching for a place to feel seen, heard, and encouraged in a godly manner. No matter if you're doing the dishes, getting your sweat on, or drinking reheated coffee while watching the kids play, there is always an opportunity for growth. If you are ready to finally take action about these desires and are ready to learn, grow, and transform your mind, then you are in the right place. It's time to establish deeper roots so you can enjoy a more fruitful and fulfilling harvest. Let's dig in. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. My name is Gabby, and thank you so much for tuning in this week. We are going to jump right into today's topic. It'll be a quickie, and I'm really looking forward to chatting with you guys about comparison and how it is the thief of joy. So we need to stop robbing ourselves. So we are being our own robber when we compare, and we are stealing joy out of our life, out of our days, out of our moments, sometimes without even knowing it. And the only verse that really just quickly kept coming to mind over and over was just part of John 10:10 in the Bible. And it says, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy." That's the only reason the thief comes. And so what is keeping you from finding joy in your life? Why are we being our own thief of joy? What's getting in the way? What is weighing us down? What is distracting us? What lies are we believing? What do we need to stop consuming? In the Bible, it says that God abhors those who steal. So why are we being our own culprit? Why are we doing this to ourselves? That's pretty serious. It is not of God comparing. It is not of God being discontent, being a stealer, robbing. It is not of God and not going to get you anywhere good in life. When you go and compare your life, your successes, your belongings, your body, your money, whatever else it is for you, you fill in the blank. When you compare that to other people's, you are constantly feeding your mind discontentment and lies. You are telling God that He has not given you enough. Think about that for a moment. You're telling Him, I'm not happy with what you gave me. You did not give me that $1 million check. You did not give me that car I wanted and asked for. You did not give me my dream home. You did not give me that child that I desperately wanted. I mean, none of it is easy. Everything, it's hard. It's very hard. But when we're constantly putting what we want in comparison to what other people have, that's where we're in the wrong, when we're robbing ourselves, when we're not focusing on the right way of going about the hard times of when we wish we had something. And, as I processed through some of this, I felt like a lot of it stood out to me more and more, and I started to unfold things for myself, and I definitely fall guilty in this area as well. Don't put me on some pedestal. This is just as much for me as it is for you, and that's why I come here and talk to you guys about this, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one going through all these different things and these topics that we talk about. So why not have a conversation about it together? But again, you are constantly feeding your mind discontent thoughts, and lies. And you're telling God that He's not giving you enough, that you're not happy with Him. As if He's like a little genie. You aren't learning to accept the fact that you are exactly where you are because of the decisions you've made. And these decisions have been made over time that have gotten you here. So you got to take ownership for that, right? And now some things for sure aren't really in our control, but think of majority of things, okay? I know there are some really heavy things that you could think about or that you've gone through that you're like, well, I don't really know how I could have chosen different. And I totally understand that. But for majority of things, and more of the things that are like your successes, your belongings, your money, your body, kinds of those things. More material, I understand. There can be some other complicated life situations. But really take a step back and focusing on you are where you are because of the decisions that you've made over a period of time that have gotten you here. Just like we talk about with what you're eating and how you're moving your body. You can't just wake up one day and say, okay, today's the day, and then you eat salads all day and you worked out, but the scale remained the same and your clothes fit the same. It doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen in a week. Maybe in a few weeks you start to see improvement and results because of your commitment of showing up. But what does that show you? It's because of what you've done over time that's gotten you to where you are, to the body that you are unhappy with or the health circumstances that you're struggling with. They didn't just come overnight. Same thing with the things in your life. And if you aren't learning to accept the fact that it really was up to you and some things that you could have chosen differently, then you're really going to start to play the victim role and you aren't going to see your way out of this very easily, very smoothly. So you have to start taking ownership. Another thing that I have to constantly remind myself is that we have to recognize that not everyone's everyone's success was how they started. You cannot compare someone's ending to your beginning. I'll say that again. You cannot compare someone's ending to your beginning. It's not fair to yourself. And it's not fair to the other person for them to be judged by you in such a way of, well, of course they got that. Or no, that's no problem for them. You have no idea the hurdles. You don't. And usually all you see online is the end result. Am I right? Some people are really awesome at sharing their journey and their stories. And that is always my goal. But always know that someone has to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. That person that you are comparing to had to start somewhere. Think of any professional athlete. Do you think they got to where they were in a day? No. Do you think they never overcame obstacles or had hurdles or injuries or judgment or sickness or their own comparison problems or eating disorders or who even knows? No. Their end was because of their journey and they started somewhere. So you have to be careful because you're going to have your own beginning and your own journey and then your own end to celebrate. And it is worth celebrating. So celebrate with those that are celebrating their end, their success. But don't let it fester inside of you and wish that it was you or that, well, of course they achieved that. Well, of course why wouldn't they? Like, you could have it too if you just focused on it, made it a priority. Maybe stopped following and comparing so many people and just focused on you. How about that? So just be careful, because that's so not fair to yourself. I just want you to stop stealing the joy daily. Stop stealing your daily joy by looking elsewhere to feed what it is that you think will bring you joy. By looking elsewhere to feed your mind what it is you think will bring you joy. A lot of the times we think, if only I had this, then I would be happy. How many times have you said that or thought that? And sometimes maybe you even got that thing. That so-called thing that would make you happy. And where are you today? Wishing, hoping for something else because then you would truly be happy? Yeah, I've been there. I'm still there. You have to learn to be content with where you are in life, with what you've been given. And once we are content with that, I think God really blesses that, and He rewards that, and He creates a peace and a calm and can surprise you where you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I was truly grateful for where I am. But this is amazing, whatever may have come. But you were okay without it. But you wouldn't deny it if it were to come into your life. I think, truly, honestly, the number one thief is our phones. Sometimes I just want to chuck my phone across the room, if I'm being honest. I catch myself all the time in a constant battle where I'm like, just stop scrolling. Oh, good for them. Oh, I wish I looked like that postpartum. All these things. Oh, I didn't achieve that time for my race. Oh, look, they got out for a run today. I didn't. I need to go for a run. All these little things. And they're just bogging my mind up, like backing it up. It is on overload of toxic thoughts, not helpful. They're judgmental of others and of myself. And I'm robbing myself of actually just being me, being present in my life, and just accepting the season of life that I'm in, or the circumstances, or the things that I have, and choosing to figure out what it looks like to move forward with that, rather than finding some external source to, validate my feelings or help me figure out how to work through it, or distract me with something else that I think would help, whatever it might be. I really think our phones, they're a beautiful thing, a great resource, but they can do a lot of evil. They can do a lot of harm. So I just hope that you can catch yourself more often and just swipe that app closed and take a deep breath and just set the phone on the counter and walk away. And recheck your heart, recheck your mind, your thoughts, and just get it straight. And just be like, there's so much chatter on there. I can't. It's not for me. It doesn't serve me. And do something for you. Do something to calm your mind from it, or do something that's going to move you in the direction of where you want to be in life. We must choose, though, to be happy for others. You don't have to, but don't judge them. We'll just say that. You can choose to be happy for them, or you can just choose to bless and release type thing. Like just unfollow or whatever. Unfollow the person online. But you have to choose that. If it simply is, if it simply keeps creating an unhealthy mindset for you, then you need to let go and unfollow that person. If it keeps presenting you with the constant battle of comparison and judgment and feeling less than for yourself, and feeling victim, it's not worth it. If you can't choose to just be happy for the person and not let it affect you, which it's so hard to do, then you might need to unfollow that person. Even if it's just for a time. You got to do what's best for you. You got to get yourself in check, your heart in check, your thoughts, your mind, your life. If you want the change, then it's you who needs to work for it. It's okay to be unhappy. It's okay to be discontent. I know I said in the beginning, it's like you telling God, I'm not happy with what you gave me. Okay. So if that's a reoccurring thing, then you need to address that. You need to talk to God about that. You need to journal that. You need to pray about it. You need to do something. It's not okay to be unhappy with something and not content, It's okay to be unhappy and not content with the current situation. That's actually required in order for someone to make a change. Resistance, challenge, hardships, unhappiness, whatever. Those are things that are going to prompt change, and that's okay. You can feel unhappy. You can feel hurt. You can feel sad. You can feel discontent, whatever it might be for you. But where it becomes a problem is when you start to seek out others who have what you don't have or what you want, and you are just living life through them and letting it fester, and you're not feeling happy, and you're wishing. Wishing is not an action. That doesn't do anything. You have to get out of your comfort zone and start to make the changes necessary and required for you to overcome this and move on and get yourself in a different situation if that's what you want. If you want more money, if you are looking to achieve a certain success level, if you want to achieve a health goal, a fitness goal, if you have a relationship goal, whatever the goal is for you, then work towards it. Don't have a pity party and play victim to, well, I can't because of this, or because of this person, therefore I cannot. And excuse me, I don't mean to sniffle. I'm still battling a cold. Doing my best here. So what's not okay is you being discontent with a matter and choosing to do nothing about it and blaming it on others or things, on someone or something else. Focusing all your attention on why someone else has the life, the body, the money, the status, whatever it is that you want. That gets you absolutely nowhere, right? But for some reason we do it. It's so easy. It's just because it's easy. That's easy. And it's so silly because it doesn't move us forward. It just keeps us halted. It moves us backwards. It doesn't, I don't know. I wish we were wired maybe a tad differently, where it wasn't such an easy thing. We didn't just resort to that. We didn't revert to that. It's not like it's not just like a, I can't think of the word, but in nature type thing. That's what our natural mind reverts to. But honestly, our minds naturally revert to the negative. They revert to what's easy, and it happens a lot when we don't even know it. So you must prioritize things differently and learn to adjust your habits if you want a different outcome. You must prioritize things. So you must shift your habits. You got to start prioritizing other things over other things if you want to see a change. If you want more money, then you got to start prioritizing a budget. You got to start prioritizing cooking at home rather than eating out. You've got to start prioritizing not needing to buy designer clothes and going to Goodwill or buying Target brand or selling your clothes. You want that healthy body, then you better start prioritizing having more healthy options in your home rather than unhealthy. Prioritizing, again, cooking at home rather than eating out. Prioritizing moving your body over sitting down binge watching a show or sleeping in. Okay? There are things that you can do to change your current situation. Now, are the stars all gonna align? Is everything gonna happen perfect because we chose and we made that priority and everything should happen the way I want it to now? No. Again, we were not guaranteed. We don't even know our last day. Okay? But you have to do what's on your heart, what's on your mind, and do it for you, and do it for whatever else your why is. Do it because it's the best thing for you. And recognize that ultimately God will get you through the hurdles that are going to come with it. It's not going to be easy, and when you start to shift and prioritize different things in your life and start to actually address your current discontentment, you might start to see the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel, but then a roadblock might come your way. That doesn't mean you stop, but you can seek God and ask him, how do I get to the end of that tunnel? Or what tunnel do you want me to end at? Where are you taking me? Sometimes we think we know. We think we know what's going to make us happy. We think we know what our contentment, where it lies. But we ultimately don't fully know. We can have goals. You can definitely, you go for it. You do it. But don't be alarmed or set back when all of a sudden a curveball is thrown your way or a roadblock. It might start to shift and look different along the way, where your goal might start to be like, oh, this might have to be my new goal. So guys, listen, for my marathon, I had to completely shift. I was not planning on being pregnant for that at all. And I had to come to terms with that, where I was like, this was my year to finally not be nursing a baby or pregnant and just achieve a physical fitness thing, within my own body, my own body by myself, to myself. And I don't have to stress about, okay, I got to nurse the baby before I start, make sure that she has milk, during, and, hopefully my boobs stay okay during, and, quickly be ready for her if she needs me at the end. I didn't have to worry about that at all. And then I was like, oh, okay, God. So the year, I was also supposed to do it in 2020, the year my best friend passes, and I was going to run it in honor of her. It gets canceled. And so I end up only running a half of it with another person, which then, two halves make a whole marathon. So that's what we did, because it was really hard to continue moving forward training knowing no races were happening, and I wasn't going to run a full marathon virtual. That was not what I wanted. That was not the goal. That was not at all. So had to shift, had to let go. I had to learn what was going to be best. Had a baby the next year, so I couldn't run it in 2021. And then I knew, I was like, 2022 is my year. And God had a different plan. But it turned out to be an amazing, maybe I'll never get that experience again. I never desired to run such distances with being pregnant while carrying a kid. Now, granted, I stay active and I run majority of my pregnancy. I probably start phasing out of I don't really care to run much past, the 30-week mark. Like, it's just not fun for me. It's not enjoyable totally, but each pregnancy is different. But it's just, it's not worth risking my joints and my pelvic floor health and hips. Like, I'm like, it'll be there for when I come back. But where was I going with that? Oh, and so for this marathon, I was going to be less than 20 weeks. I was 16 weeks. And I was like, okay, God, you're going to have to help me get out of bed. Because I get tired in the first trimester. I'm like dead to the world for portions of the day. And I just want to sleep. And by God's grace, I made a commitment to all those Saturday morning long runs, and thank the Lord for friends who hold you accountable, who will meet you, run in the dark with you, motivate you, tell you to eat during your long runs. I mean, goodness. So I look back and I'm like, I will look back and I will not regret or be mad that I didn't get to run that marathon without a baby in my belly. Like, I'm going to have so many more future opportunities. I'm not even 30 yet. So let's just hope I can run a marathon when I'm like 45 and 50. Because I won't be having kids, And so I had to shift and I had to reprioritize. What was it going to look like for me? I had to change, like, what does my goal time even look like? What is a goal pace? I don't even know. My body's changing every week, every day. I'm getting more and more pregnant. I don't know. Can I keep this pace in 3 weeks? I have no idea. Will I be, super tired? Will I get up on this weekend for that long run? How will I stay motivated? Like, how will I know how to fuel properly? Like, I don't, it was a lot. And so I had to be okay with, I had a goal. I was prioritizing things to make it happen. And boom, I got hit with a curveball and kept moving forward and just redirected myself and had to shift thoughts and still worked through it. So that's just a small example. It's just a run, it's just a marathon that, but there are big life circumstances where sometimes, okay, just take a deep breath. You can be frustrated with the current moment of like, okay, I worked so hard for this and now here I am and I'm almost there, but now what? And just take a moment and assess. Don't give up. And just remember why and remember how you got here. Because you don't want to go back to being a comparison person, comparing. Like, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. And do what you need to do. Wow, I can't believe I'm like still talking about this. And it's almost, we're cruising through this episode. So my final encouragement to you is just to pray, to journal, and to understand that maybe God has you in this season for a reason. And maybe it won't be exactly the answer that you wanted, but there can still be joy. And I know there are moments of things with relationships, with marriage, with family, with pregnancy loss. Those are things that are just, I just got the goosebumps. Like, you feel like, what else could I have done different, God? Why? So you have to work hard at choosing to still find joy in your time. I didn't know how to find joy when my best friend died within 2.5 months of being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. How was I supposed to, if someone told me, just find joy in it, Gabby, don't worry. Like, that is not what I'm trying to tell you. But it's a journey. And here I am 2.5 years later. And I see so much. I see what has come from that trial. And you don't see it right away. And that's okay. That's not, you're never going to see it right away. You just got to walk through it and pray that God would continue to soften your heart, to not get trapped in comparing someone else's happiness. And, well, that person didn't die from pancreatic cancer. Look at them. They're alive. They fought it. Why couldn't that have happened to her? All these things. I couldn't even let myself go there. You have to just be. And eventually time heals. Time does heal. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, my dad died when I was 8. That's a long time ago. I'm almost 30. And I can think about him all I want. I could talk about him anytime. I don't remember much. But it definitely is not such a painful spot. It's been my life. That's all I know. It's all I ever know. And I'm not an emotional wreck about it, but it's part of my journey. It's part of what's made me stronger. It's been part of how I've been able to help others. And you can use your pain for purpose. Because I understand that even if it is something that you keep comparing because it's something that you want, maybe you have to learn to just figure out where to find the joy in those uncontrollable life things. It's so hard. It's so hard because some of those things, you couldn't have done anything different. You couldn't have been any better. You just can't go there. And so you have to say, okay, God, this came into my life. Will you bring me through it? Will you show me the way out? Will you heal my heart? And will you show me glimpses of joy? Because those moments are real. And I get it. We can't be in control of everything. I said, if you want the change, you have to make it. Well, yes. But there are a lot of variables in life. So, and we are not God. So I hope that this comparison episode blessed you, that it maybe hit on the nail, an area that you need to assess, that you need to really focus on. And I pray that this just really jumpstarts something for you. And maybe you need to listen to it again. But if this did have some form of encouragement on you, if you could leave a review on the show or email me, whatever. Love to have conversations with you guys about these things, and here to listen, be there as much as I can. And maybe you know someone who's going through some things right now, and maybe they need to hear this message too. But I am grateful for you guys. I'm grateful that you stick around listening to all my sniffles and my crying and sickiness. But anyway, I hope that you guys have a wonderful week and that you are freed from all that comparison. Let it come off, feel the weight lifted, and find the joy and let that come in. All right, guys, we will chat again soon on the next episode. Bye-bye.